Additional aids and services are available to individuals with disabilities. To make such a request, please contact us by email by clicking the Help tab in the PD portal or at pdportal@tamu.edu, by phone including Relay Texas at 1-800-441-7323, or in writing to Train PD, PD Portal Support, 4477 TAMU, College Station, Texas 77843. Both a transcript and accessible document of the content presented in this webinar can be found as resources in the course description. Click on the blue links under Course Resources in the description. When a link is clicked, a new browser window will open.
Of course, the title for today is Common Barriers and Challenges for ITPs Seeking to Re-enter Careers. So now we're going to start off with our presentation in earnest. We have with us Kara Craig from Upwardly Mobile.
Thank you. Some of you may be familiar with Upwardly Global, but if you're not, don't worry. I'm going to make sure that you are well acquainted with who we are and what we do. My name is Kiara. I am the Partnerships Development Manager with Upwardly Global, and I oversee our workforce ecosystem. And I will be addressing some common barriers and challenges for ITPs seeking to re-enter careers within the US, and talking to you about Upwardly Global as a form of support and how our tools and resources are designed to not only support job seekers, but really to support those that are working directly with job seekers. We're not trying to replace any services that you may currently have. We're really just looking to fill any gaps. We're a national nonprofit. We have a couple of headquarters throughout the US. So we have a New York office, a Chicago office, San Francisco office, and a DC office. We offer an online training platform. Everything that we do is online. The goal of our organization and our mission is really to advance the US economy with individuals from their home countries that are really looking to better navigate the US workforce. We can't do that without partners. I'm sure you all are well aware of just some of the more common barriers and challenges that this population faces. Our tools are really just designed to aid in addressing these barriers and challenges so that we can help for these job seekers to feel empowered, push towards self-sufficiency, to be comfortable to go out there and navigate this new world for many of them. Some of the barriers and challenges, which I'm sure all of you all are familiar with, is I'm gonna give you an example. Think of the doctor from Argentina who is now in the US, maybe working at Chick-fil-A, maybe doing DoorDash, maybe doing Lyft or Amazon. And they really want to get back into the industry that they were a part of in their home countries. Now they have to understand, what is the US job search process? What does that look like? That's one of the more common barriers. They don't have a professional network. As you can imagine, you are no longer in your home country, you're in a completely different country. You can't phone a friend, you can't tap into your professional network. Lack of licensing and certifications, English proficiency. I will just go ahead and put this out there now because it does tend to come up as a question. Our platform is only offered in English. We do not offer our platform in any other language. So as you're thinking about those individuals or those job seekers that you're working with that may best find our program as a resource for them, we do say that if they have at least an intermediate level English or a B1 level English, they would find much value in our program. And then again, essentially what we want to do is we want to take them from working those survival jobs and help get them placed back in their professional career pathway here in the US. So this is a meaty slide, but I always like to spend a little bit of time here because I think anyone that's working with a job seeker, especially an internationally trained professional, you can look at this slide and identify at least some part throughout their journey where you may have run into yourself with supporting this individual with their job search strategy and what that looks like. So it's not just getting to the US and having to navigate the US workforce. It's getting to the US, having to understand the job search, having to understand the interview process, having to understand onboarding and career advancements, with transcripts evaluations, having to start completely over from beginning. As I always like to tell people, can you imagine being a surgeon in your home country and now you're here in healthcare and you're having to start over as a CNA? So it can be really frustrating for a lot of them. What we really look to do is to identify these pain points, not just for our job seekers, but for our organizations that we partner with, and address those pain points, right, with our program. We have three ecosystems that we focus primarily on. That's academic. So we work with a lot of adult education centers, a lot of community colleges and colleges. We also partner with a lot of community-based organizations and refugee resettlement orgs. Our main focus right now, my main focus, is workforce. So we want to put our tools and our resources in the hands of the career navigators or the program managers that's working with this population that may not have trainings designed specifically for ITPs. And what I mean by that is you'll see in our online platform, we have trainings for marketing yourself, crafting a resume. But the thing that makes our training so unique is it's not just how to market yourself, it's how do you market yourself in the US. And I do oftentimes feel like in this space, that's typically where you can find a gap because it's tailored. Our program is tailored specifically for immigrants and refugees. We not only, again, offer support for the job seeker, but we also have tools and resources that we dedicate specifically for those working directly with the job seekers so that they are getting the support from us as well as an organization. So who's eligible for Upwardly Global? An immigrant or a refugee with previous industry-specific experience looking to advance their careers in the US. Even if they now identify as a US citizen, they're still eligible if they've earned their US citizenship at this point. Even if their industry is not specific to one of our pathways, which I'll talk to you a little bit about what those pathways are. Let's just say if they've had some form of professional experience in their home countries, they would check that box. As I mentioned, we only offer our program in English. So those who have an intermediate level of English or above, all of our training content is offered in English. Digital literacy, so those that are comfortable navigating, they're comfortable checking their email. If they were to have a login to our platform, they would be comfortable logging into our platform and accessing our trainings. And then ideally work authorized. And those that are awaiting work authorization, we allow them to have access to our training platform as well. I will say that one of the things that we are currently exploring specifically with San Diego Works and their workforce centers, they have identified certain workforce centers where they have a large number of walk-in clients that have to wait to be assigned to a case manager. And so they're using our platform almost like a in between, like while you wait to be assigned, you can take advantage of Upwardly Global's trainings. And this is what that can look like. So keep that in mind as well as you think about those that can benefit from our program. Our training platform is an online training platform. That's one layer of support. Everything we do is online, and 88% of our job seekers utilize the platform from a mobile device or some form of tablet. They can do the program at their own pace, it's self-paced. They have access to the training platform for an entire year. They can always go back in to revisit the trainings. It really just depends on the job seeker in terms of how fast they complete our platform. We have over 50 hours of trainings, which I will talk a little bit more about. They really can just take the training that their career navigator or their instructors assign to them. We don't assign the trainings. So you may have a job seeker that has a strong resume, they have a strong cover letter, they're getting interviews, but they're not landing the job. So that may mean that the gap is somewhere with how they're marketing themselves or how they're showing up in their interviews. So within our platform, that may be one of the trainings that you assign this particular job seeker. Although we have over 50 hours, they're not required to train within all 50 of those hours. It's really just taking the trainings best fill those gaps that they have with where they may need the support. So I have a little bit of an interactive for us. So you're going to hear me talk about the training platform and what that looks like. And I also said we have 88% of our users who utilize this from their phones. So one of the great things about our training platform is that we have micro trainings. So none of our trainings are 2 and 3 and 4 hours long because for one, that would be a huge time commitment, right? So they're designed to be short micro learnings. And so to give you all a glimpse into what that platform looks like from a job seeker's perspective, if you have your phone, you should take your phone and scan our QR code. It will take you directly to 2 trainings specifically within our networking module. So we have modules, and then within those modules, we have the micro trainings. So networking is one of our core modules. So once you log in, once you have access to the training platform, you'll be able to see the format is going to be the same no matter what the training is specifically, but you'll be able to get a glimpse of the language. These are 7 to 8 minute trainings. And ideally, we try to encourage our job seekers when you have a minute, maybe while the baby's asleep, or if you are on public transportation, or if you just have that extra 10 minutes to pour back into yourself and your professional development. These are trainings designed to allow space for our job seekers to be able to do that. I want to talk a little bit more about what these modules look like. So if you are within the QR code, those are 2 trainings from our networking module. These here on the screen are our core modules. You have the job market introduction, you have a resume module, a cover letter module, marketing yourself module, networking and interviews. We also have supplemental trainings. So cross-cultural communication, getting the ITP population to understand different management styles, different leadership styles, personal development, workplace rights. I honestly feel like Upwardly Global has a training for everything. And I'm not just saying that because I work with the organization. I really do feel like when this was designed, it really was designed to cover every barrier or challenge that this unique population oftentimes faces. Industry pathways. Again, if you have a job seeker that does not come specifically from one of these industries, that's okay. These are industries that we have identified that a lot of our job seekers typically come from when they are here in the US with either credentials or professional experience, educational experience from their home countries. So we have an IT pathway. I'll go back a little bit. So when you see these learning pathways, every industry is specific. So the job market intro is going to be specific to IT, same for healthcare, finance, accounting, and banking, engineering and architecture, business logistics, and operations. And we also have a general job search pathway. So the general job search pathway is for anyone that does not come from one of these industries specifically, but again, they have some form of professional experience. So if I'm a job seeker, let's say from Ukraine, and my previous background was in engineering, and now I'm here in the US, I may no longer have an interest to pursue engineering. I may take an interest in healthcare or IT. They do not have to enroll in a pathway specific to their background. They are welcome to choose any one of our backgrounds. We also offer licensings and certifications that I'll talk a little bit more about after the presentation, but did just want to give you all a glimpse into what the industry specific pathways are that we have, and then also share information in terms of we have a general job search pathway in the event that they don't come from one of the industry specific pathways. We also offer a dashboard. So in addition to the learning platform, we also offer the dashboard. And this is really great for case managers who are trying to track placement, not only outcome placement or job search placement, but just in terms of how many of your job seekers that come from the ITP population are enrolled in Upwardly Global. Our platform allows you to track those individuals to see if you have 10 individuals enrolled in our platform, what percentage of that 10 is actually utilizing our training platform? What percentage of that 10 has completed the trainings? It's really a good way to look back after 1 year to say, hey, we partnered with Upwardly Global and we saw a shift in our job seekers that took advantage of this training platform, that completed the training platform, that utilized their skilling and reskilling opportunities. They worked towards certifications with Upwardly Global. A lot of good information here. We also create reports for you all so you can go in to track any progress within those reports just to see where your job seekers are. So you can see how many you have enrolled in the platform, how many are currently in progress for working towards completing one of their trainings, how many job seekers have completed their modules, so on and so forth. So that's the presentation itself. I see a couple questions. I'm going to pause here. There are no videos in the lessons, right? So there are some videos. So if you scan the QR code, that module I don't believe is specific to any videos. The good thing about the platform is that we try to have something for every learner. So some modules we do have videos, there's audio. Some of them we may have visuals in terms of like graphs or pictures. I like to say we have something for everyone within the training platform. I want to talk to you all a little bit about our certifications and licensings because I know this is one that comes up. Our program is free. I don't know how I forgot to say that. Everything that we offer is free. It's not tied to any title funding. It's not tied to WIOA. It's free for our partners and our job seekers. That's great. So the resources that I just reviewed with you, our online learning platform is free. And then I'm going to share my screen again to go over some of our skilling partners. These are resources that we offer to job seekers, but we pretty much ensure that our partners have this information. This is really where you're going to find a lot of value. And this is what I meant when I spoke to the fact that a lot of organizations, specifically workforce, because I do come from working with ETPO and WIOA. So I understand that there are career services put into place. There's not a lot of career services put into place specifically for this population. These are some of our platform partners that we work with. For an example, if I was a cybersecurity analyst in Afghanistan, and now I'm here in the US, I may be assigned a case manager. I'm working with my case manager, but maybe I'm not eligible for WIOA. So this is where Upwardly Global can really kind of come in to serve as a big form of support. We partner with Cisco Net Academy. We cover the cost for the certifications as well. This right here is where you click on courses, you'll be able to see like what those certifications are. We do offer access to a good amount of subject areas that if a job seeker is even interested in learning those in-demand skills, whether it's coding, data analyst, cybersecurity, no matter what it is, we create space with one of our platforming partners for them to go in and work towards that. Salesforce is a big one. We offer Salesforce trainings for those that may be interested in diving into, let's say, sales, marketing, customer service. GCF Global, EF Standard English, and EF English Live, that's where a lot of our partners find a lot of value. These are resources that really kind of help advance that job seeker that may need additional support in hours, whether it's with digital literacy, whether it's with technology, reading, math, or whether they're just looking to improve their basic job ready skills. We can get them set up with GCF Global. This is a resource that we offer the job coach. We call anyone working directly with a job seeker a job coach. So as I'm talking to you all, I'm referring to you all as job coaches, just to kind of set the tone. So these are resources that we offer our job coaches so that as you're working directly with your job seeker, you can say, hey, we partner with Upwardly Global. We can get you set up in GCF Global. These are some of the topics that they help to cover. You may have a job seeker and you're not sure where they fall in terms of their level of English. So we will administer an English test to see if this is something that would kind of set them up for success, essentially. It also offers an assessment with reading, writing, listening, and speaking. EF English Live, they offer over 3,000 hours of coursework. The good thing about this one is that it's specific to the learner's ESL level. It's a great opportunity for non-native English speakers that are interested in really just improving their English speaking skills. Different levels, of course, in each one, but just all around, it's a great resource specifically. We also partner with Microsoft Learning Pathways, Coursera, eCornell. Our eCornell partnership's a little more rigorous. So this will be for the job seeker that has the ability. Maybe if you're working with job seekers that maybe they did come from being a doctor or a lawyer. This one's a little more rigorous, a 3 to 4 month program that we set them up with. And then you can also click on the courses and certifications that are offered through eCornell. So a lot of really great resources for free. Still can't get over the fact that all this is free. I remember when I started, I was always trying to figure out where's the catch, but there's really no catch. So they have the learning platform, and then they also will have access to all of our skilling partners that we work with. So I'm going to share my screen again, and I'm going to actually show you our learning platform. Depending on where you come from, if you are coming from adult education or community college, usually those that are working on the ESL side or with instructors or the career navigators, this is where they find the value. If it's from a workforce center, again, we would love to put these tools in the centers as just another form of support. And then, of course, if we're partnering with a refugee resettlement organization or a nonprofit, we also encourage them, like, hey, if you have volunteers, let us train your volunteers. So as they're working with the individuals from your organization, your volunteers can be trained on how to get the job seeker set up in this platform as well. So I'm going to jump into our platform. Not going to spend too much time in here. It's so much information. It's so good. I can literally spend hours talking about our platform and just like all the resources that we offer. This is the demo version. It's not going to look the most pretty in terms of interface for a job seeker. But if you're interested in getting access to the demo, if you want to go in and play around to explore our different trainings that we have, because I can't cover all 50 hours on this call, please send me an email. Just send me an email and I'm happy to set something up so that you can go in and explore the platform itself. But the main page on the demo that you'll see is our partner, is the dashboard that I spoke of. So this is where when you log in, you'll be able to see I have 47 individuals enrolled in the Upwardly Global platform. All 47 completed their trainings. Think of this as like a snapshot, right? 51% are in progress of working towards completing their trainings. Those that have been placed on a job, which I will talk about that because I'm pretty sure maybe some of you are thinking like, do we support with the job search process? 67, we kind of track an average placement salary. And then again, job seekers enrolled. So when it comes to the trainings, this is what you will see. At the top, you see we have our industry pathways, which I covered on the slide. And then these are our supplemental trainings. So these are some really great additional trainings that we offer. They're not required to complete any of these supplemental trainings down here, but they are more than welcome to. I always encourage to at least jump in and play around with enhancing your job skills because we have a really great LinkedIn training specific. So this is an example right here of what I meant when I said our trainings are specific. So a lot of them are going to be designed specifically for newcomers, specifically for those that are just looking to better acclimate themselves with the US workforce. How to use job descriptions, how to customize your resume, how to have those conversations when it comes to salary expectations, preparing professional references, first 90 days in the US workplace. That's always a good one. And then, like I said, LinkedIn for newcomers is a really great one. It's really detailed, a lot of good information. We also have a lot of trainings for women specifically, just like how to have those conversations if you find yourself pregnant in the workplace, engagement rings, sexual harassment, all of that, all really good resources. For the meat of our platform, I'll jump into IT. Here you can see the plans. So remember, I said it doesn't matter which industry they come from. All of our industries have specific plans. So for the purpose of IT, an introduction to the IT space within the US market, this is really going to give them an overview of not only an introduction to the US job market, but an introduction to the IT industry. IT is just one of those really broad and complex industries. Oh, I want to be a cybersecurity analyst, but you can't just jump into being a cybersecurity analyst, right? There are a couple steps that you have to take, a couple of certifications that you may have to work towards before you're able to reach that end goal. And so that's what we work to address in these introduction modules. So really quick, I'll click into an introduction to the US job market just to kind of show you all what that will look like. The same format, if you scan the QR code within the deck that I went over, you'll see the formatting is the same. The only difference is the content. Introduction to the US job market. We have objectives for every course, for every training. Rather, we want them to be able to walk away with an understanding. They can go back and complete these courses as many times as they'd like. Of course, we want them to be able to describe a career pathway, understanding the differences between the technical and transferable skills. So as I mentioned earlier, maybe they come from engineering and they want to swap. So what skills can you take from the industry that you were in previously to apply to the industry that you're interested in? We offer career mapping support. So we have a document that we share with our partners in the event that that's something that you all don't have put in place. We're welcome to offer that. You can use that as a guideline to kind of help them reach their end outcome. This is really good because this right here kind of lets you know, like, hey, if you're interested in getting into IT, let's say you want to do data analyst or business analyst, those are considered entry level roles. It really goes deep dive into what are the expectations for someone in this role to kind of really give them a sense of, does this align with things that I'm interested in or my strengths? Is this something that I want to pursue? And then as a next step, this module will say, hey, we got the green light there. A next step, maybe in 6 months to a year, depending on where you are, data scientist or an engineer. That would be the next step. So on and so forth down to chief data officer. All of the industries are going to have a breakdown of this. One of the things I always like to spend time talking about is when we're talking about career services, specifically for ITPs, I feel like the jobs in between are often overlooked. So it's either entry level or CEO. But we try to do a really good job of getting them to understand all of the in between jobs that are still as good and that can still help support you to reaching your end goal. So areas of specialization, again, the technical and transferable skills, career changing, that's something that they want to do, again, with the example of engineering. And so this is what I meant earlier when I said we try to have something for everyone, whether it's a visual learner. So this one doesn't have any visuals, but it does have a lot of good information. And then at the end of each micro training, there's a knowledge check assessment. So it's not a test, it's not like an exam or anything. It's more so to see what have they retained from the trainings that they just went through. And then of course a conclusion. So that one it was specific to an intro into the IT market within the US. But we also offer others outside of the intro that you may find some value in. I know a big one for us specifically right now because we just launched a AI resume tool builder for our partners and we've been getting a lot of great feedback there. The idea behind this is one, working with resumes when you have dozens of job seekers needing support with resumes can just be so time consuming and daunting. We really want our tool to be something that you say, hey, Upperly Global has great tools, great resources specific for resume writing. How about you go in, you play around with the trainings, you can utilize their AI tool builder, create a resume, and then that way, when you connect with the job seekers, maybe you can dive into role playing if you already have the meat of what it is when it comes to the resume. Resume formatting, this is one that is really detailed, very foundational. So we cover all aspects of a resume, every part of the resume. Same for cover letter. It's like, hey, we totally understand that your 20-page cover letter was acceptable in your home country, but in the US, no one is going to look at a 20-page cover letter or just certain information that's included on their resume and their cover letter. We don't need their children's names, a lot of the detail that's sometimes included in this, and we work to address that. So again, we have objectives, formatting of a resume. This is essentially going to cover all the format of a resume. So personal detail, telling them what to include, what not to include, length of resume, accuracy of information, pronouns. That's a big one that we run into. And getting them to understand like the use of pronouns when it comes to their resume and where to put those pronouns, the usage of US vocabulary, spelling and grammar pronunciation. And then even here, it will allow them to create the resume. And then if you hover over the numbers, it'll go back to what information to be sure to include, what information you don't need to include. So you may want to spend some time in this module. Like I said, I'm happy to share the login information to our demo so that you can go in and play around with all the different trainings that we offer. And then the last training module that I want to show you all that I feel like is most common with our partners is our networking module and our marketing yourself module. So let's just do networking. Not available. I don't know why it says not available. Well, I'm not sure why those aren't popping up, but that's okay. When you think about what that module would entail, it would essentially entail networking in the US. So I'm pretty sure all of you can think of a job seeker or student that you've worked with. Eye contact is not acceptable in every country. When you think about someone from a country where that's not acceptable, and then now they're here in the US, and the expectation is that they go on these job interviews, they have to be able to maintain eye contact. A lot of the interpersonal skills, that's where the focus is. We really address a number of topics when it comes to navigating throughout the interview process or when you're at a networking event. What are the things that are appropriate to talk about when you're at a networking event? Again, happy to share the login information so you all can go in and play around in there. I did touch on earlier the fact that we track reports. If you're from a workforce center, one of the ways we work with this is especially if someone is working towards a grant with the information that we track, we are more than happy to work on a grant with you or pull from our information within our platform, our reports that you can use for any of the grants that you're working towards specific to this population. We also can create reports if there's a report specifically that you want that we don't have. These are some pre-populated reports. So let's say there's a report that you're interested in that we don't have. We're happy to put that together. Again, this is a demo account, so this is dummy information. With the skillings document that I showed you with our platforming partners, there's a report specifically for you to see. Let's say you out of that 10, 3 of the job seekers of that 10 are taking advantage of GCF Global. It's a good way for you to track who's doing what with Upperly Global. It's all tracked here. Our online platform is only trainings in here. This isn't the job seekers interface, but we only have the trainings, and that's because we don't want to overwhelm the job seeker with information overload, because like I said, there are a lot of trainings in here that they can have access to go in and play around with. They're not required to complete all of the trainings, but I will be very honest, a lot of the ITPs that we work with, they will go in and complete every training. They're so hungry to learn and to grasp the information. And if they start off in one pathway and then they want to switch over to another pathway, we totally say go for it. They can work towards multiple certifications in our program. So this one I clicked on, this is one of the supplemental trainings. So recognizing job description jargon, understanding soft skills and hard skills. We are so accustomed to, we use it every day, but for someone that's not familiar with that US jargon, it's foreign to them, right? So just even getting them to understand something as simple as US jargon. Think of that as the third layer of support, the online platform that I just reviewed with you all, well, some of the trainings within there. That's one layer of support that we offer. The second layer is our skilling partners with our platform partners. And then the third one is that through our partnership, because we are always finding new ways to support this population, our most recent way, as I mentioned, being our AI resume tool builder, we offer that to you all through a designated account manager that we would assign you and your team. So this is someone that you can go to for maybe you have questions related to transcript evaluation. Maybe you have a job seeker that is interested in pursuing certifications with Cisco Academy. This point person is pretty much going to be your support person throughout the duration of partnership to really just ensure that when it comes to supporting an ITP, that Upperly Global is rolling out the red carpet for you and your team and your job seekers to fully feel supported in the work that we're doing. We're not trying to take away any services or platforms that you're currently using. It's really just designed to fill any gaps to say, hey, maybe we only want to utilize Upperly Global for their platforms through the demo, but we really want to take advantage of their skilling partners. It's a lot of tools and a lot of resources. And so hopefully with the resources and the tools, some of you can identify to where a lot of this can be helpful for you and your team.
The platform that you were reviewing, my understanding is like it's guidance on resume writing, on interview skills, building, right, interpersonal, let's say. Do you actually offer like nursing courses or the IT. So as they complete that they can get certified, and that's something that they can put on resume as a credential.
Yeah, so that's going to be through our skilling partners. When they do the online platform is just the trainings. They don't complete the trainings in the platform and then earn a certification through the platform. Think of the platform as just we're like laying the foundation. And then from there, we build on top of the foundation through our skilling partners. If they want to work towards a healthcare certification, that's where we would tap into our skillings resources. And another good thing about that is that these are industry recognized credentials. Not a knock against LinkedIn Learning, right? But if you complete a project management course on LinkedIn, an employer may not recognize that as an industry recognized project management certification. Whereas if you took a project management certification through us, through the body entity, then it would be industry recognized, like Cisco Net Academy. That's like a big household name in IT. So all of their certifications that they would work towards and earn would be all industry recognized credentials. Bobby is from Kilgore College. I met Bobby through Manager Monday a couple months back. We'll be jumping into a partnership soon with her and her team. Bobby, if you can kind of speak to how you and your team plan which members from your team and how you envision implementing Upwardly Global, I think that may help set some context for others who are in your position from the academic space to kind of give them an example of like what this could potentially look like for them as well.
I was interested because we're a small program, but our students are scattered around through the 3-county area. We have an ITP coordinator, but we don't have specialists everywhere. Being able to drive across 3 counties to meet with someone would be difficult, or have them come into one location. So I was interested in this platform where we would have job coaches throughout our service area. And that way they can work with the students and help lead the students both individually. And I think they can even use some of these as a classroom for classroom instruction, so they can instruct a group of job seekers and not just have the students go in one-on-one and do their own study.
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad you said that. You really can get creative with how you choose to take our content. We see this most commonly used in refugee resettlement spaces and community based. If they're hosting a workshop, they may host that workshop with those individuals. Everyone log into the platform and then they walk through the trainings as a whole. There's a number of ways you can get creative with it, but that is definitely one way you can do it in terms of like instruction with a group versus one-on-one. The idea here really is to push the job seekers towards the platform. It's not meant or designed to be a heavy lift on you, whether you're from the academic space or the workforce space. It's really just designed to be another tool in your toolkit to be able to maximize the support that we put in place for these individuals. So when you go to our website, Texas is one of our direct service states. We do not offer direct service in all states. We only offer direct service in some states. Our website is very tailored to our direct service program. I am on the partnership side. And so everything, the eligibility requirements, all of that was specific to partnerships. I want to put that out there because when you go on our website, you may see something about like, hey, they have to have a bachelor's degree. Hey, they have to have been in the US for 7 years. You are welcome to refer individuals that meet that eligibility requirement for our direct service career coaching program. You're welcome to just refer them to our website. But for the purpose of partnering, which is really what we're looking to do, we're looking to partner to scale our impact to be able to reach more job seekers at once. We want to do that through the form of partnerships. And then those eligibility requirements are a lot more flexible. So through our partnerships, there is no education requirement. They can come in. We see them at all levels. They come in with double PhD. Some only have a high school diploma. Some only have a GED. There's no education minimum for our job seekers coming in through partnerships. If they come in through partnerships, even if they're working toward their work authorization and they don't yet have it. Whereas if they come in through direct service, they have to automatically be work authorized. So I just want to put that out there because we do have 2 models, but I focus solely on our partnerships model. And I'm happy to connect with either of you individually if this is something that your organization or if you feel like your team, if you would like for me to give a more in-depth demo, I'm happy to come in and do a presentation. I spend a lot of time visiting Texas. We're always somewhere on the scene in Texas. Please feel free to follow up with me if you have any questions about our resources, or if you're just curious to know like how other organizations are working with us, whether that's a workforce organization or whether that's an academic institution that's working with us. I'm happy to share what that looks like and the ways in which we support that. We have a report. You can also pull this up on our website, but it's a report that we did through Lumina Foundation, specifically on our work with community colleges and what that looks like. We also have work that is specific to how we partner with our workforce centers. We do partner with the DOL in New York. We also have a really big initiative through Michigan Works that we're working with, and we're in 5 of their workforce centers and how their workforce teams are utilizing our platform to support our job seekers. The work that we are gearing up to start with San Diego Workforce and their workforce centers that are seeing the highest number of walk-in participants. So it's a lot of good information, a lot of good resources put in place. I'm happy to connect with you all. If you are interested in partnership opportunity, if your leader is not on the call, I'm happy to connect with you and then we can loop in your leader. It's a free resource. So I feel like if it's free, it's definitely worth tapping into for those that may best be able to take advantage when it comes to licensings and certification. I didn't spend too much time on here. I don't even think I addressed it really because it's one of those like fine lines. But we do work with WES, WES. We partner with them to offer support with transcript evaluation. We recognize that that's something that's very expensive, but WES is our sister organization essentially. And so we lean on them for resources when we can for job seekers that need support there as well.
We hope you enjoyed this pre-recorded webinar. After you have passed the final test with a score of 80% or greater and have received your certificate of completion, please take a few moments to complete the course evaluation. Participant feedback helps Train PD at TCAL continue to provide high-quality professional development. To leave a course feedback, please go to the completed portion of your transcript. To do this, hover over the My Learning tab and select View Your Transcript. Click on the drop-down arrow next to the word Active and select Completed. Then, click Evaluate in the drop-down menu next to the course you just completed. Please note that your feedback is greatly appreciated.